Ya lo dije una vez, ahora vuelvo a repetirlo. Para mí, Weird fue una de las gratas sorpresas del 2022. Si les gusta Daniel Radcliffe, más bien tirando a bizarro o a extraño, no se pueden perder esta película centrada en la vida de Weird Al. ¿Por qué hago comillas? Porque no hace falta que conozcan la vida, porque es más bien una parodia de cómo es una biopic convencional. Y hablé con su mismísimo director de fotografía que me contó cómo fue que encararon este proyecto. Mirá.
We now return to Mira Akian and Contre with our latest interview.
Even though we weren't making an accurate representation of his life, the depiction was also equally important. So I think it felt a little bit of pressure to do him justice and his fans justice, and in making something that they would enjoy.
Put it in.
He was very involved. He and Eric wrote the script together, and then he was there through prep. When Dan was rehearsing stuff, and when we were scouting locations, he was privy to all that. And then on set, he was there at the monitors every day. He was mostly concerned with the accuracy of how the accordion looked when it was being played, and things like that. He definitely gave Eric his space to direct, and he's a very positive, supportive, collaborative presence. So it was fun to have him be an active part of it.
Oh, my little hungry one, open up a package of my banana.
Dude, I've got chills.
My understanding is that I think it was at least a month before Daniel came to town for the shoot, he and Al were doing accordion lessons over Zoom. So Daniel, like he does with all of his stuff, he's very, cares a lot about it, and so he also wanted it to look and feel accurate, and so he did learn to a certain degree the accordion, which is a very difficult instrument to play, especially when you have a master like Al scrutinizing every little detail about it. He's a wonderful, wonderful person, and you won't meet a person that says anything other than that. But I think he's been fortunate and happy that he's been so successful since such a young age that he has the ability to make a lot of creative, interesting decisions with the roles that he takes on now. And it's been fun watching him do all sorts of different stuff. So in a way, it wasn't surprising that he was all in to be Al, with all these roles he's taken, he tends to, I think he likes to gravitate towards these kind of quirky roles, which I think is great. And again, he immerses himself completely, and he grew out his facial hair so he could shave down to the mustache, and 100%. So he was great. We were fortunate because our actors were so prepared, so passionate about doing it. I think for everybody, we sign up for something short and quick, and even though it wasn't a zero budget project, it still is it's a passion project, really. So everybody's bringing their best to it. Everybody really cares about it, and so having actors that were really on and could accomplish what we needed very quickly, minimal takes, and we had to rely on that. There were some places where it was like 2 takes, and we're like, great, like, Dan, do you feel good? Yeah, we're good. Okay, we got to move.
Every once in a great while, I can spot a talent that I know is the future of music.
How much of Daniel is in this weird character?
Well, I don't. There's not a lot of the Al character that I feel like is Dan. I mean, Dan is super pro, super sweet and genuine, and I mean, there was a moment we were probably halfway through shooting, and we were in between takes, and I was next to one of the cameras, and we were waiting for them to reset something on set, and Dan came up next to me. We were just standing next to each other, and he said, "Hey, I just wanted to, everything is so quick and busy. I didn't have a chance to thank you for keeping us on track and helping us be able to accomplish this with such little time and resources." And I was like, "Are you kidding me? Like, this is your ability to do all this stuff is why we're here." So that, like, to me, that's a great example of the type of person he is. It's just no ego, and 100% prepared, and just, yeah, so pleasant to work with.
We gotta find you a stage name. Al Yankovic. It's long, it's hard to pronounce. So I'm just gonna throw this out there. Weird Al Yankovic. I love it.
The first kind of base layer of everything was that it's only going to play properly if it takes itself seriously, like you know, like a traditional biopic. So we had to kind of start there, and you know, lighting it to feel, even though we didn't have a ton of money, we wanted to make it feel as big and epic as possible. So you know, setting up the period stuff of when he was younger, and to tell this where the camera was kind of treating it as a very serious, a very you know, we're trying to be very accurate, and I think visually and tonally approaching it that way makes the comedy that much funnier and makes the fantasy stuff feel that much more outlandish.
Which films did you use, like maybe as a visual reference, or like, I don't know?
Yeah, we pulled, the references are from all over random, you know, strange places. There's, you know, I'm sure there's stuff buried in our reference decks from like Transformers and, you know, but I think primarily it was, you know, let's look up all the familiar trope biopic movies. So we definitely, and visually, from a lighting standpoint and a lensing standpoint, Bohemian Rhapsody is a big one. There's a lot, even the stuff in his apartment with his future bandmates, a lot of that is based on stuff that was in just the kind of natural motivated lighting. A lot of that's based on Bohemian Rhapsody frames. There's stuff in Rocket Man that's really great. A Star Is Born, some of that stage stuff is great. I mean, they're all great, but you know, we pulled from a lot of those different places. So I think in hopes that there'd be, not only that we're emulating these classic biopics and good looking images, but hoping to make this subconscious connection to, oh, this should be right next to all the other serious biopics about these massive artists.
Do I know you?
Madonna. I was wondering if you were going to do a parody of my song, Like a Virgin.
I think they had so much fun doing it. Evan was same thing, super prepared. I think she was, my sense was that she was thrilled to embody Madonna. I think, you know, I don't want to put words in her mouth, but I think that she was kind of like, you know, when she had the chance and it worked with her schedule, she's like, why would I not take this opportunity? When she showed up on set for the first time, fully dressed up, we were like, this is amazing. We were all laughing. And I think she and Dan just had so much fun. I think in the beginning, definitely with the first stuff we shot with two of them was when they first meet, when she comes to the mansion.
I'm curious, is that song autobiographical?
Yes.
I think even just those first few takes, that was maybe one of the few places where it took everybody a minute to kind of settle in and be like, okay, this is crazy. This is a lot of fun. So I think they had a lot of fun together, and it's also you're watching two superstars and super talented people work with each other. So that was just a pleasure too.
Look out! Another one rides the bus. Another one rides the bus.
And that again was just one of those hilarious things where we have real life people that are, you know, coming in and helping us out, which was really fun, and playing other real life people that are, you know, iconic 80s and early 90s personalities. So just fun across the board. It was, I mean, maybe one of the most, if not the most challenging days we had. One, because again, you're asking all these people who are very busy schedules to come in, and they're all in essence doing a favor to us and Al. You know, Conan O'Brien had, I think, an hour out of his day where he came. And so for our ADs, it was a challenge just to schedule all the people that are coming in, get them through their looks and get them to set with us. But then of course, for us, we're used to more of a schedule where you have a little bit more control over, well, if we want to shoot this way, especially me as the DP, you know, I want to shoot with the sun path as much as possible. And so all of us have different things that we would love to have in there that we had to all kind of throw out of the window to a certain degree in order to be able to embrace as many cameos as possible. So it was a little bit of a puzzle because we didn't shoot it in traditional order just so we could maximize. We didn't have everybody there for 8 hours and shoot wherever we wanted. You know, we had to shoot pieces depending on who was there at what time. And then in addition to that, the location like I was saying, the sun path wasn't the most favorable for shooting. And when you're shooting around a pool, you have less ability to control and bring the equipment in. So we really had to, there were really a lot of factors that I think we kind of skated around and got through. In the afternoon, all the confrontation between Jack Black's character and when he arrives, that was the second half of our day. And at that point, the sun had come around, and then it got super windy for whatever reason and kind of chilly. So you can see, when you look at some of his coverage, you can see places where the wind is blowing a lot harder than it is in anything else. But I think hopefully the performance is distracted enough that
I think that's the point. Yeah.
Another one rides the bus. Another one rides the bus. Ow!
The coverage of Dan with the accordion and then playing the song, we lost the sun by then, so we shot that night for day. So we were trying to light. You'll notice you don't really see above the top of the house in that, because we're lighting it. And so we had to, and I was preparing myself for that, which is less than ideal. But again, it's you either shoot it this way or you don't shoot it at all.
Nobody wants to hear a parody song when they can hear the real thing for the same price.
2 words. Eat it.
I had seen the kind of fake trailer that they had made years ago, and the idea that this was sort of the full length version of that made complete sense to me, and I thought it would be a lot of fun. What I understand is I think he wasn't available in the beginning, and I think first somehow Daniel became an option, and they just went with that, and kind of had to go quick. But I know that we were very close to having Aaron in the movie, and I can't remember what happened, but it didn't work out last minute. It might have been a schedule change or something.
And don't be whiny, or else, my brother, I might have to get medieval on your hiney. We've been spending most our lives living in an Amish paradise.
One thing that I learned was that of all of his songs where he was parodying other songs, I think if I understand correctly, he always connected with the artist that he was going to make a parody song of, and in essence ran it by them and said, "Hey, do you mind?" And I think the one exception was Coolio, which we did jab at a little bit, but they did. I think down the road they kind of everything was smoothed out. But I think for the most part, that's kind of the way his career has gone.
In front of all the billions of people watching around the world right now, all I want to say is be as weird as you want to be. Yeah!